Hi everyone, it's April 6, 2020, and I was just thinking about how I had a few events earlier this year that I just couldn't explain, and now that all this has happened around the world, I wish I had thought about what I had quote unquote almost predicted. Last summer, I had a conference in Macau. This is a special administrative region of China. I didn't realize what it was called at the time, but when I got to Macau airport and I went up to customs and they had stamped my passport, and I looked at the passport and it said Macau SAR. And I didn't know what stood for, and my first thought of it was SARS. I remember as a kid in 2002, 2003, I was going to college part time, and SARS was big. Everybody was scared to death, and there at the time, being racially biased was a little bit more acceptable than it is today, and we would see people from China. I'm from Taiwan, by the way, but we would see people from China, and we would make sure to keep our social distance from them. We didn't call it social distancing back then, but my mom would take me to the campus, and we would see some Chinese people, and she'd be like, "Oh, go away." And so when I saw SAR written on my passport, I thought it was SARS, and I thought, "Is SARS back?" And I looked around me, and there were a few other Americans traveling there, and I asked them, "What the heck does this mean?" And one of the guys there clarified to me, special administrative region, and China happens to have two of them, Hong Kong and Macau. And at the same time, there was these big protests in Hong Kong, and that's how I learned a little bit about the history behind all of that. And so that's good. But I hadn't thought about SARS for all those years. At the time, like 16, 17 years, I hadn't thought about that. And I don't know why when I saw SAR on my passport, all the memories of SARS just came flooding back. Earlier this year, during the more carefree days earlier at the beginning of the new year, I was thinking about some events in the sky I like to view. I love to view solar and lunar eclipses. I sometimes travel quite a good distance to view some of those things. I went to Salem, Oregon to view a solar eclipse one time. I don't normally have to go very far to view a lunar eclipse. I sometimes like to go out to the places with less light pollution, or if it's a cloudy day, I obviously have to go somewhere, right? I went to Ellensburg two times over the last few years to view lunar eclipses. But earlier this year, I had a slow time at my job, and I thought that I didn't really have a whole lot of time to take like a week off or something like that. And so I was looking at the scheduling, and there was a lunar eclipse, but it was halfway around the world. And I almost thought about booking that trip, believe it or not, even though I would only have 2 days to spend halfway around the world. And yeah, laugh at me if you want, but I almost blew $2,000 just to view a lunar. I was just bored and lonely and cold. It was winter time, and I for some reason I just didn't think I thought it was worth the money, but for some reason I had other things holding me back. I didn't want all the inconveniences of going out there and not being able to sleep properly and coming back to work in a mess, and so I ended up not going. I kind of regret it now because I'm looking at the schedule, and we have. I hope. See, this is why I'm getting a little optimistic, because I think that maybe the powers to be want me to go see this. Hopefully, the problems will have to end soon for me to be able to go any of these places. But what's really nice is this June 21st. So we have a solar eclipse that goes through. This is what gets me excited, because I think God wants me to view this. So He's going to do something to make sure that by June 21st, it will be safe to do this. But either Taiwan, or I'd love to go to India anyhow. But most likely Taiwan. What I'm really excited about is, and I hope, I don't need to travel to do this one, but we have a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn 2020. And this is what it will look like. They even have the face of the moon. Okay.
They're obviously not going to be one in front of the other. I believe every 30,000 years, Jupiter does actually cover up Saturn. Um, and This is what it will look like. But I want to go as far north. I want to go as far north as I can. Because this is during the winter time. Actually, it's exactly at the winter time, December 21st. So as far north as I could get, we'll put that in the best position. So looking back at the world map, I'm thinking either Gdansk Bay or, well, Japan is kind of far south too. Alaska, I don't really fancy Alaska, but these two dates make me happy because I think God likes me to see these things. Every time there's a solar or lunar eclipse, some space event, God always clears out the schedule for me to be able to go to them, and June 21st. So it remains to be seen, but I'm feeling optimistic about it, given that He's already given me two warnings about this impending problem, and He likes me to see these things. Thanks for watching.